Welcome. Tim Bartz here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. How's my audio sound here? But welcome everybody. It is February 8th, 2022, and we are live. We have a new member here, Jay, and as well as Austin, as well as joined the McArthur crew. So we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But welcome everybody here. And thanks to all the new members that we have and that have just become members. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I hope you do think about subscribing to the channel. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell because that way you'll get notified next time we have another video uploaded to the channel, as well as when we go live. You'll get a notification 30 minutes before we go live, as well as when we go live. So hopefully you guys take an opportunity to subscribe if you're not. Don't forget to smash that like button at any time during the video. I'll remind you at the end of the video as well. And if you're not a member, you can click that join button. Actually, there's also a link down the description. I have a lot of information, some links down there, some information in there. And one of them is the link to becoming a member right there. So you can click that link if you become a member. It makes it real easy for you to do that. And there's some perks in there for becoming a member. And something that I want to do here, I'm probably going to give this away in tonight's live stream to one of our members. So I'm going to go in, see who's members. I think we just got another member from Patmos68. But I don't know if you could see the shirt here. So there you go. So wife got a Cricket. So I have a couple of shirts. She bought some shirts and put the Ford Video Guy logo there on the shirts, if you can see it right there. And we went ahead and put that same logo on one of these cups here. I got these cups at Walmart. They're fairly cheap, but I am going to probably give that away to somebody towards the end of the video. We'll talk about that there as well. So be thinking about that. So also don't forget, this is going to go out as a podcast. So if you want to listen to the audio format some way, we do have, you can find that in different podcast platforms out there. Plus you can find it on our website. In fact, let's see if I got this working right. So you can go right to lawmacarthur.com /Ford Video Guy, just like you're seeing on the screen here. Hopefully you can see that. I just threw that together today and thought, yeah, you guys might enjoy a visual on that, but you can go ahead and find it on our website. Real easy if you want to listen to this podcast there. And don't forget, you have some email addresses right below there, and I will apologize. I'm a little behind on replying to emails from the Ford Video Guy at Gmail. I'm about a week behind, so I really apologize. But I'm going on a trip soon where I won't have my computer out and a lot of people in front of me or be able to make some phone calls, but I will be able to answer those emails. I'm going to catch up this week and try to make it part of my daily task to do every single day to answer those questions for you guys. So if you have any questions that you have about Maverick, not necessarily on getting a vehicle from us, if you have one on order with us, use the timothybartz at Gmail, or if you want to get a vehicle from us, use that email address because that's something that I check often throughout the day. So got that out of the way. Some recent videos that we did this last week, links again are down in the description for these videos. We did have a video that went live, a Ford Maverick delays and chip shortage, some information about that from last week that I told you I'd put out there. Oh, Jolly, thanks for becoming a member of the McArthur crew. So that link is down there if you want to watch that video a little bit. Also, we did a video from your guys' recommendation last week. So you guys said, hey, why don't you put together some videos on installing some different accessories? So we did one with Blake. He was installing a hard trifold tonneau cover into a local customer's Maverick, and so we did a video on that, and I had a lot of fun recording that with him and just showing just how simple and easy that was to do. So that was a cool video. So we'll try to do more of those. It's in the hard trifold tonneau cover. The other tonneau covers are real similar in how they're put together as well and how to install those. And remember, those we can get those straight out of Ford Accessories. So you can even buy them yourself. You can go to Ford Accessories website and you can get those and you can order them right from your computer and have those sent right to your house and install it just like we did here at the dealership. And it was real simple. He did it by himself. I actually didn't even help him. I just ran the camera and let him just go to town, but he did a great job. And so we'll do some more of those as we get some of those now. They install bed covers. They do some different vinyl graphics and such on vehicles, as well as because that's what Blake used to do, as well as they'll do window deflectors, hood deflectors, and stuff like that. So they do some of that stuff there in their bay. Spray and liners and such go off to a different place, but I do want to go over to where we do the spray and liners, and so you guys can kind of see that too as well. So today in Kansas City, just subscribe. So hopefully they're watching from Kansas City there. So anyway, I have those 2 videos going out, and then my new assistant had she's been working on for about a week, working on a video that I actually recorded several months ago, but when we got a 21 Ford Escape titanium trim in, videos that really what I started doing around here was these what I call complete guide videos that goes over all the standard equipment and then different packages and optional equipment and such, kind of build on that. And so that video was able to do several months ago, have not had a chance to get into to work on that, and she edited that this week, and that one's going to go live real soon. So be real nice. If there's any editing flaws, be real nice. This is the first one she did so far. And then we also, to follow that up, we're going to do a video on the 22 Escape of what's new, what's different from 21 to 22 and those different upgrades. And she's going to work on editing that one today. So those should go live Wednesday and Thursday, or Wednesday and Friday. Depends on how quickly she can get that one done. So that'll be real fun as well. So don't forget, the timer there is going for when the topic that we're going to talk about for the day is looking at over 500 plus orders to understand our Maverick hybrid scheduling. So I got to listening to some of the comments on the Maverick Truck Club on my video. Actually, I posted the video, and it kind of went crazy with remarks and such, and people talking, and the great discussion there. And so I got to thinking, because a lot of people were talking about different things about, hey, I think there's a delay in hybrids and different things like that, and why is it that there are people from June still not ordered when there are people from October, November that have been ordered and scheduled. And even have somebody that's been commenting on, our videos, about that we should have let our customers know that we had a lot of orders and it was going to take a while. So we're going to talk more about that in about 22 minutes and 57 seconds there about that. And so we'll get into that in just a little bit so that you guys can see that, and we'll discuss a little bit more. So I've kind of drilled down and looked at our orders, when the orders were placed, what type of orders they are, hybrid versus EcoBoost and such. And so we can compare, and ones that aren't scheduled yet, how many do we have, what percentage of it, and that kind of thing. So you guys can kind of get an understanding of maybe possibly, timeline of when yours might get scheduled if you have it. I did have, real quick, before we get started, a quick little joke. I did see this on Maverick Truck Club, so I want to give Rickus a shout out to this. I don't know if he watches the live stream or not, but he had a really cool and funny joke. He said, "What's the difference between having a baby and the Ford Maverick?" Well, the Maverick and a baby take 9 months for delivery. The Maverick is cheaper in the end. I thought that was funny. So I just threw that out there. So anyway, so hopefully your Maverick doesn't take you 9 months to get to you. But anyway, so just throw that out there. That would be kind of fun to kind of share his joke. Hopefully he doesn't mind that I shared that. So let's talk a little bit about the allocations that we have for this month. This is the first week for allocations for February that are going to be used, and there are actually only 5 car lines that are getting scheduled this week, but I do want to go off of, if you have an order with McArthur, some of you do, some of you don't. So let me just go ahead and kind of talk about this. So for the Mustang, McArthur, we'll have 2 allocations for this month. For the Bronco, we have 6 allocations. Bronco Sport, only 1 allocation, and that's basically, I think on that one is because we only have 1 order that has the custom order. So right now on Bronco Sport, they're only looking for those custom orders. Last month we had a couple allocations, or we had a lot of allocations based on some of our COVP or the orders that we had that needed to be scheduled. Right now, I think we're left with like 1 or 2 Bronco Sports to be scheduled, and so that's why we only have 1 allocation this month. EcoSport, 0 allocations. Edge, 2. Escape, 9. Expedition, 3. Explorer, 1. F-150, 9. We have 9 left. So last week, for some reason, they included the ones that we had scheduled as part of our 28. So we've already received 19 of our 28, and we have 9 left. Maverick, 30 this month, and I'll tell you the breakdown. Well, the breakdown is going to be, I think they told us 21 hybrids and 9 EcoBoost that are going to get scheduled. Mach-E, 1, because we have 1 order in, so we're getting that 1 allocation. Ranger, 2. Super Duty, we have 2 left. We have 15 last week, which we thought was kind of a surprise scheduling, and that's because they actually included last week into February's production of 17, so we have 2 left. So now let's talk about what vehicle and what model lines are getting scheduled this week. Now, one of them that is getting scheduled this week is the EcoSport. The Maverick is supposed to schedule this week, F-150, Super Duty, and Transits. So those are the only 5 model lines that are getting scheduled this week. The rest of them are not getting scheduled. As we've talked about chip shortage, we've heard about 7 factories that are shutting down, that are not going to be running because of the chip shortage, and because of that, you see some of them that aren't scheduling because of that fact. Now, some people said, hey, I thought the plant in Mexico was shutting down. There are 2 plants in Mexico. The one that is producing the Maverick is not shutting down. So Maverick and Bronco Sport are not shutting down. So just keep that in mind. They're continuing to build those. The other one, the one in Mexico that builds the Mach-E, is the one that's closing down because of some of the chip shortages. Now let's talk about some scheduling notes, some things that I wanted to make note of that they sent to us, plus a couple things that I threw in here just as a reminder. 22 Transit and Mach-E order, the order banks close on 2/11. So in 3 days, the order banks close down. COV has to be submitted. COVP, which is the same thing as ROVP, so that's for Maverick, they use the ROVP system, reservation to order, but everybody else is a certified order verification process. Those have to be submitted by 2/18 on those orders. So you have to get the orders in by the 11th and the paperwork in and submitted by the 18th. 22 Mustang stock orders with a GT performance package will be canceled. So that configuration is not orderable for retail orders. Or for stock orders, sorry, only for retail orders. So the only way you can get the GT Performance Package on a GT Mustang for 22 is if you have a custom order. So only customers can get that. They cannot be stocked on our lots. 22 Bronco Sport Badlands with the premium package will take longer to schedule. So they're already telling us there's some issues there, how many they can do. The one order that we have is a Badlands with the premium package, and that's one of the reasons it hasn't been scheduled yet. So they say that if you have that on your orders, it will take a little longer. Clarence, welcome to the McArthur crew. Thank you very much. All right, 22 Edge with adaptive cruise control will also take longer to schedule. We've kind of talked about this several weeks. That package, the adaptive cruise is going to be standard on your titanium with the luxury package, as well as the ST high package, and also included in the Copilot 360 Assist package and some of the other trims. So if you have the adaptive cruise on the Edge, it will take longer to get scheduled. 22 Ranger, the 300A XLT base is now available for stock orders. Originally, they were not going to allow for dealers to be able to stock 300A XLTs. Now they've opened that up so dealers can try to order those. 22 Expedition stock orders for the Stealth Performance Package and Platinum will include the auto start stop removal. So that means you don't have the button. So it won't automatically stop the engine. And by the way, both the Stealth Performance as well as the Platinum have that high performance EcoBoost engine this year. So that's probably why they're taking that off of any of the stock orders for that. 22 Maverick. So we kind of talked about this, but I like to just cover my bases on this. 22 Maverick, the luxury packages, Copilot 360 package, or the spray and bed liner cannot be selected on amending orders, including changing from the Lux package for the spray and bed liner to the drop-in liner. So they're all grayed out. So you can't go in there. I was messing with this last Friday. You cannot go in there and select those packages. So if you have an order in there and you say, can I add that luxury package? You cannot select any of those packages anymore. They are closed out. They haven't I should have got a screenshot for you, but they have a message that says this option has been balanced out for this model year. So you cannot do that, as well as all-wheel drive. You cannot go to all-wheel drive as well. That has been closed out too. Some of the late orders, in fact, when I was putting something in on the very last night, we were not able to select the all-wheel drive. So that is closed out altogether. So if you have one and you're thinking, I'd like to go, and it might move your order back, maybe, hey, I'm going to go EcoBoost, but I want to go all-wheel drive. We had somebody that did that, and they weren't able to select all-wheel drive, and then they weren't able to go back to hybrid. So they're trying to get with the regional rep to see if that can be changed or edited and go back to hybrid, because they were going to try to go EcoBoost all-wheel drive, and that was not available. So all-wheel drive not available. Can't pick your luxury packages, including which I thought was kind of weird. You cannot go from since you can't select on any of the luxury packages, even the drop-in bed liner one, you can't go from the spray and liner to the drop-in liner to try to get yours scheduled. It won't let you at all. So keep that in mind. You can make changes to your order, but you cannot change the trims or the style, which is your body style. So going from all-wheel drive to front-wheel drive, you cannot. If you make any of those two changes, it will change your order date, received order date, to the last day you can do orders. So if you make a change to an EcoBoost now and you go from an XL to an XLT because you want that and didn't realize that, and if you make that change, it'll automatically, your date of order, it'll say that you ordered it on the 27th, which is the last day. So that's what'll happen. EcoBoost, or on a hybrid, if you try to make a change on a trim on a hybrid, it'll say the last day is November 15th. So just so you guys are aware of that, and go over that real nicely there. Also, there's a little article, and I didn't read the whole article, but I just kind of grabbed the title there. And in the news, there's a link down in the description to the that the Bronco Sport Assembly Plant was named the best in North America. So I'm assuming by quality and that kind of thing. I'm not sure, but I will say they've done a great job with the Fusion. That's where the Fusions and the Fusion hybrids were built for years, and that's the same plant the Maverick's being built. They seem to do a really good job when it comes to quality. So if you have a Maverick, you should feel happy that you're going to have good quality coming out of there. Now, I am a little early, but I'm going to go ahead and start talking about, is it true? So I'm going to go ahead and just move right into it. I know I said 23 minutes, 7. I'm about right there. It's pretty close there. So so we're going to talk about the, is it true here? So this week I actually struggled with finding something. So there's a situation where somebody had posted in there that their vehicle, their dealership called them, let them know, hey, your vehicle arrived, it is here. So they headed and started heading to them. They were a little drive away to get their Maverick, and then they got a call and said, oh, I have bad news, it's damaged. So they said, oh, well, I don't want it if it's damaged. So they didn't send them pictures or anything like that. I did put a link to this in the Maverick Truck Club forum. There's a lot of comments on there. He did update it at the beginning. So if you look at the first comment, you can kind of see his update there. But he did find a dealer locally, a great dealer, that I went ahead and got him a vehicle and real close to his build. And so he was able to get a vehicle, a Maverick. But that dealer, they looked it up, they checked the VIN number. It looks like the VIN number was registered, and they even got an email from Ford saying congratulations on your purchase of your vehicle from that dealership. So their system actually showed that they had already purchased the vehicle when they really hadn't purchased the vehicle. And then when they checked the VIN number in Carfax, it showed that it was titled to somebody as well. So it looks like maybe they went ahead and sold that vehicle. So what a lot of people in there are implying is what's probably happened, and I don't know for sure, is that the dealership took their vehicle, told them that it was damaged or something, and then sold it to someone else for a profit, is what they're thinking. So so I'm not sure if that's the case. We really don't know the whole story, because I don't think that he was actually in contact with the dealership after that. And I didn't read through all the comments. There was a lot of comments in there, and I didn't get on that at the very beginning to follow that through that. But so for those that have, maybe they're in here, they can maybe give us some more information on that. But something to keep in mind that can a dealership do that? Technically, they could. If we have an order, what should happen is when a vehicle comes in, if the person that placed that order does not take that order, they need to email the dealer, because what happens is that vehicle has to be delivered to that person, and Ford does track your orders and who titles that vehicle based on who ordered the vehicle. So you have a certain percentage that you have to adhere to. It's called a name match percentage. And like on Bronco, we're like at 100% right now. So all of our Broncos have been delivered to vehicles, to the customers that bought them. So they have to be done. And the dealers will get penalized. So if that dealer does that too many times and their percentage goes under a certain percentage for that name match, then they can lose allocations, and they can lose the option, I believe, to even order more vehicles. I was going to look that up and forgot to look that up. But that, you can't do that. So now if you're legitimate, like we've had a couple of situations where the customers did not. We had one that was drop shipped at a place in Mississippi, and it got down there, and we're like, hey, your vehicle's at the dealership there in Mississippi. We need to complete the paperwork. And they said, oh, I bought an F-150. I was tired of waiting for the Maverick. Understandable. So what do we do about this? Because this was legitimately, they didn't take it for a good reason. They got a different vehicle. Or we've had some people that has to be, name match is 60%. Okay, I know some models it's higher than 60, but I think most of them it is 60%. I think you're right there, Julius. So thanks for getting me on that one and making sure that was right. But you have to name match that. So if you have a legitimate reason, then if you ask that customer, can you please email me over why you didn't take your Maverick, why you didn't take your vehicle, and then it has to be from that same email address that they ordered the vehicle from, then that can be, you can have you can kind of justify that to Ford and they'll okay that. And that's where we've actually had, I think, one Bronco that wasn't taken, and it was because a person couldn't get approved on the vehicle when it came in. Because of some things that happened with their job at that time, and so they emailed over and Ford gave us an amendment for that, so that you can get that. But in the case for this one here, that customer definitely would not want to send an email over to the customer and said, yeah, my vehicle was damaged, why I didn't purchase it. So just you're better off just not emailing them and kind of letting them hang out to dry on that one. So just keep that in mind. I think all early Maverick holders will get built soon. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, and about 8 minutes here, Snapple. So like the name there, by the way. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. Did that just flash? I don't know. Anyway, so that's some things to keep in mind, and it is 60%, not 70. I had a 70% on my sheet for some reason. I think it should be 70. I mean, really, it should be higher. I mean, we were like at, I think we're at about 100% on all of ours, because if the people that didn't take them, a lot of times it's because they bought something else or they couldn't get it financed. Usually one of those two situations, and they've all been, real nice to email us back. So I think that it really needs to be higher than 60%. I think it should be like 75, 80%, because there should be no reason that you're not delivering it to the customer there. But I do know too that you have till like the end of the month or a certain day of the month to have everything in. And let's say your deal is at the end of the month, let's say like the last couple of days, and somebody else buys it. You have that line that you have to get that in there. So I think that should be, there should be they should be able to adhere to that. So it's not that difficult. We've been able to do that. And if dealerships are being honest, then they're not going to have an issue. But if they're not being like that one, that's just a shame. So, all right. So moving on, a couple of questions that I did receive through social media that I thought would be good things that I wanted to make sure I let everybody know about. And that is that, actually, there's something I want to look up. It says, I can't look at my orders from other dealers. So one of the things is, last week I was on the chat answering somebody, and there was somebody that had an order with us, with our dealership, and they wanted to know the status of their order and if I could look something up. So I said, yeah, just give me your order number and I can look it up for you. And I think everybody thought that I was able to look up their order as well. And I can only look up orders from people that ordered from us. So keep that in mind. I got probably 50 emails from customers wanting me to look up their order, and their order was at a different dealership, and I cannot do that. So the best way, if you want to look up your order or get the status from looked up on your order, you have to talk to your dealership. They're the only ones that can look at your orders. So we can only look at our own orders. Okay, Kent just had a question there. I'm gonna read that question here real quick, and then there's another one up here I want to answer too. It says, do you know why my dealer with 400 plus Lightning with 25 people on priority list gets 3 allocations? The dealer is in zero emissions state, and my dealer does only MSRP and no markup. I'm not sure, Kent. That is a great question. We've gotten 3, but we only have 135 orders, and we're not in an EV state. So we've only had 3 so far. So I'm not sure why you're only getting 3. Maybe they'll get more, but I do know this first this 22 model year, they're not going to be producing a lot. So I think they're keeping the numbers down for about all the dealerships. So I don't, you think it'd go by percentages and such, and being an EV state and such, they'd want to get a lot of those out and in those states. But I think those numbers are real low for a lot of dealers. So they're making sure all the dealers get at least 1 or 2 allocations in theirs. And so I'm not sure how they're figuring that number, but I know for this year, it's going to be a small number for 22 model year. But this summer is when they're going to start, scheduling for 23. So it's not going to be a long wait. It's going to be just a couple more months, and we're going to be able to see 23 is getting scheduled and then getting produced in the fall. So let's see. Is that Power RC racing. I'm not sure. I have a VIN and production date. I just went into the tracking system and it says the VIN doesn't exist and it's been cleared from my FordPass app. So you had a VIN and production date, and now the VIN isn't working or it doesn't exist. I'd contact your dealer and see if they can look up and get with the Ford rep and see what's going on there. Because usually once you get scheduled, you get that VIN number, and it should be getting produced. So I'm not sure unless there's something with that order that they decided, the factory might have decided it was what they call a dirty order. So you might just check with your dealer. You're going to have to contact them probably. All right, Jeff says, my salesman said they got the invoice for my Maverick this morning. Does this mean my Maverick is getting close to getting delivered? It's been sitting in Portland the last 2 weeks. Yes, that does. Usually once the dealership gets the invoice, that means I also get the title. Like right after that means it's in transport. It should be getting there real soon. So that is correct. All right, Eric says, if you have not yet received a VIN yet, will my dealership be able to tell me my priority level? Yes. Yeah, you don't have to get, you can see your, I'm assuming your priority level is like your priority code, like all of ours are 10, and sometimes they get pulled down to 2. That's probably what you're talking about there. So anyway, if you touch the long one there, next the logo. All right, so we got those 3 minutes left. A couple other ones that I came up that I wanted to let people know about. We talked a little bit, some people were concerned about interest rates, and because interest rates are going up, I want to remind people that you have a couple different options when you get your Maverick. You have the date that was ordered, and that's what date that Ford sees, and you have the date when it came in. So when you go to do your paperwork on your vehicle, you have an option when they go to pull the incentives to either select the date that was ordered or the date that it came in. And what they're going to use is they're going to use the pricing of the vehicle when it was ordered, the rates that were available at that time, and any rebates are available at the time of the order. Or you have an option to choose when it comes in. So if, let's say, Ford comes out with some rebates recently or something, you're going to be able to use those rebates if you want to, and the current rates that are available at that time of that order. But also you have to use the pricing that was also available at that time too. So it's an all or none. So you use the pricing from when you ordered it, the rates available, and incentives available when you ordered, or when you go to do your paperwork, when a vehicle came in, you can use incentives, rebates, rates, and pricing. If there's any price increase, you have to use that price as well. So you're going to have 2 different options there. So those that are concerned about the rates going up, you still have, if you had 0% available when you ordered the vehicle, that's what you're going to get. They're going to be able to see that and go back to that and be able to use those dates. So just keep that in mind. Also, a lot of people have called and said like they've had issues when their vehicle came in where the dealership marked their vehicle up when they originally said they're going to do MSRP and such, and they've been calling the customer service line, and you need to call the Ford complaint line. So those are 2 different lines. Customer service line is going to really, it's more about looking up your orders, helping you see if your order's in and the status and that kind of thing. But if there's a complaint about a dealership, you need to call the Ford complaint line instead. My assumption is that. Now, I haven't had to do this, but there is a Ford complaint line. So let me pull that phone number up here. See if I can get that. We actually keep it on our dealership phone list here. So some of you should maybe try to call that complaint line instead of the customer service line. Where's that number? Oh, here it is. So the complaint line for Ford is 1-800-392-FORD. So 1-800-392-FORD, F-O-R-D. So that's, I mean, maybe try calling them instead of the customer service line, which is 1-800-334-4375. Instead of calling that line, try to call the complaint line and see if you can get more accomplished that way. So there's one other thing I want to talk about, but we're almost time to talk about our topic and going through the order. So remind me, I want to talk about the process, the possible process if not all the 22s get built, and what happens if they carry it over to 23. So I do want to talk about that and use some examples from a couple of models that's happened with to give us an idea if what it could be like. Not saying it is, most of them should get built for 22. That's the reason they shut off the dates, but what it could be like. So I want to talk about that here in just a little bit after we talk about this week's topic, which is looking at our 500 plus orders. All right, so what I did this week, boom, time's up. All right, so what I did this week is I went through all of our orders. So I actually broke it down. We ended up with we had a business that put in a bunch of orders, and they're going to be, we put those priorities towards the end for that business. So technically, we had more orders than what we have. So we're looking at 531 orders, not including that business that put in like 50 Maverick orders. So we're gonna, of those orders, those are the ones that are going to be prioritized, and we're going to talk about. So 531 orders. Of 531 orders, 328 of those orders were hybrids. 328 out of 531. 62% of our orders, actually, yeah. So I'm sorry. We had 531 orders, and if you take out those EcoBoost orders that we had for that business, you're 461 total orders. 328 were hybrid. So about 70% of our orders were hybrid versus EcoBoost. So if the rest of the country is the same way, 70% of the orders are hybrid versus EcoBoost. Now you can see why. Some people have said there's probably an issue. There's going to be an issue with hybrids because why are we still seeing June, July orders not scheduled when we're seeing later months scheduled? So I went ahead and also kind of broke things down to show how many orders we had each month. So in June alone, we had 64 orders submitted. 41 of those, 64% of them were hybrid. In July, we had 187 orders in July. So 43% of our orders were submitted in the month of July. So if that gives you some basis there of how many orders there are, 140 of those orders were hybrid. So 140 of our 328, a third of our orders were ordered in the month of July. So, and then if you're curious, 76 of those 140 have been scheduled, as well as 21 of the June orders of the 41 hybrids have been scheduled as well. So we still have 20 in June, 64 in July that need to be scheduled still. Or wait, I'm sorry. We have 21 that need to be scheduled and 76 in July. So we have almost 100 orders. So what's that? 97 orders that still need to be scheduled from June, July. So there are a lot of people that have been, putting out there, hey, I'm seeing people that ordered in November that have gotten scheduled, and mine's June, July. Why is that happening? And when you get on social media and you see people posting that, hey, I just ordered in December and mine got scheduled already. First thing you want to ask them is, what did they order? They ordered an EcoBoost probably. And if you look at the breakdown of EcoBoost to hybrid orders, so like for us, for instance, we have, EcoBoost, look at my total numbers here. We've had 128 EcoBoost scheduled already and 91 hybrids scheduled. So you can say, we've had 42% of our orders that have been scheduled are hybrids. So they are ordering and they are scheduling hybrids and they are producing hybrids because we've had 91 of ours get scheduled that are hybrid and 128 that are EcoBoost. So if that tells you something. So we still have 75 EcoBoosts that need to be scheduled and we have 237 hybrids. So if you're looking at those numbers and if they're going, let's say they're going 50-50, right? Right now they're trying to produce a 50-50 mix of hybrid to EcoBoost, which it sounds like that's what they're trying to do right now. Then if you look at that, it's going to take a lot longer to get through the hybrids than it will our EcoBoost. So just keep that in mind. Like I told somebody the other day, they said that, well, I have a September hybrid order. It's going to take forever if they're still doing June orders and July orders. And that could be true, but if you look at, I added the numbers of our orders, and if you add between June, July, and August orders together, that accounts for 40, 50, 60, 70% of our orders were scheduled in June, July, August. So once you get past June, July, August getting scheduled, the rest of the month, September, October, November, hybrid orders are going to go real fast because only 30% of our orders were in those months. So July was a big month. That's when the news went out in June about the Maverick. started going public. I put out a lot of videos, some other people did as well. It got a lot of traction, and so then a lot of people ordered in July, and a lot of them wanted that standard hybrid. They wanted the hybrid. Give me the hybrid, no cost to upgrade to hybrid. I want that good fuel economy. So they want a little small truck. So we had a lot of those. We had 187 that were ordered in that month, which is crazy. I knew it was big, but I didn't realize it was that big. So again, hopefully I described that pretty well, but if you guys want the breakdown. Oh, and something else to note is we have had 0 hybrids that were ordered in the month of September, October, November scheduled so far. The only months that we've had any orders that were submitted that have been scheduled so far are June, July, and August. If you want that breakdown, we've had 20 from June out of the 41 have been scheduled. 64 of our 140 hybrids from July have been scheduled, and only 7 of our 37 in August. So as you can see that breakdown, we still have quite a few orders that need to be scheduled. So that, I don't know, I guess that's what I was looking at, was trying to just kind of put people at ease in a sense that some people were kind of saying, well, they're not scheduling, they're not building any hybrids. You can see that because there's still June orders out there. So there's something wrong here. They're not scheduling them. It's not true. They are scheduling them. It's just, there's so many more orders in those early months. It's just taking a lot longer to get through. And then once they get through them, the other months are going to go much faster because there's not near as many orders that were taken after that. So even if you look at a breakdown of our total orders, in those other months, September, in between hybrid, our total orders, 37 in the month of September versus the 187 in July. We did have 60 in October, November, and I think that was a lot because of our social media presence, which wasn't a plan. I had somebody out there that has kind of really raked me over the coals in the comments because we should have warned our customers that were ordering with us that we have a lot of orders and it's going to take forever. But if you look at the breakdown, I've seen smaller dealerships as well that have like 10 orders that they still have 6 out of their 10 that still need to be scheduled. Well, that's no different than the 60% that we have that needs to be scheduled as well. And so it's really an even process. I don't really feel like it's based on where you order from and such. And like I reminded him that a lot of our customers that ordered from us, they just felt like they wanted to make sure that the order was submitted, it was completed properly, and they just felt like we could do that. So anyway, just kind of a breakdown. Hopefully that helps. I can always come back to this, but I just kind of wanted to kind of, ease everybody and realize that and I feel like with our orders, because we do have over 500 orders, that it kind of gives a scope of what other dealers are. I'm sure there are other dealers that have 500 orders as well down in, California and some of those big metro areas. They probably have as many orders as we do. They're just not publicizing it. And so it probably has good, percentage and basis off of what the rest of the country is doing as well. So because we have orders all over the country, I think that's a good scope of what the other dealers are doing. And so anyway, so kind of hopefully helps out there. So if any more questions about that, of course, we can always come back down to that. EcoBoost breakdown, when you say and the EcoBoost, okay, so did you want to know maybe how many are needing to be scheduled? We have, even in July, we still have, the month of June, we have 1 that needs to be scheduled from EcoBoost. And the only reason that wasn't scheduled was that customer was not reaching back with us. They had ordered the front wheel drive with the 4K tow package, which was on a material hold. And so we reached out to him every couple weeks and he just was not replying. So this week, since all wheel drive can't be selected and it's closed out, I went ahead and updated his order and took the 4K tow package off and added the hitch, which was the only thing we could do with that order for it to even be built. So again, we've been trying to reach out to him. So that one should get scheduled this month. We have 2 that are unscheduled from July. I think those 2 are first editions, and I'm going to talk about first editions in just a second. August EcoBoost orders, we have 3 not scheduled yet. 3 in September, and a couple, if I look those up, I believe those a couple of those have the bed covers on them. I'm just saying, take your bed covers off. Anyway, and then October we have 4 not scheduled, 9 in November, and then 15 in December, and 38 in January. So we have 75 total orders, EcoBoost orders not scheduled. So that's kind of the breakdown. So, you know, some of those early orders, there's a purpose and reason why they're still sitting there on the EcoBoost even, because that's why I said in my video one week is that if you have one of the packages and you're looking at a hybrid and you ordered in November, why not an EcoBoost order in November? Well, that's because, you know, if you look at our orders that are unscheduled, you know, almost all of our early orders of the EcoBoost are scheduled. We're almost in a sense to the orders from October, November on the EcoBoost that need to be scheduled. And some of those are first edition. Again, they take the Lariat luxury package. You have to have the co-pilot's package. You actually have to have that bed cover. It is a soft trifold bed cover, but it is another bed cover. And again, those take longer to make because they have to have people to put them on. And that is one of the reasons why if you have a bed cover, it's taken longer. They don't want to schedule as many because they know once that truck is built, all these trucks are built, if it's got a bed cover, okay, well, this one needs a bed cover, it needs this. It goes over to the mod center, which I like to call it the mod center. They call it the body company. And so you go over there, and then you have to have a guy that puts it together. And if the guy is going and tricking along like Blake was, and you can do one every 30 minutes, you can only do how many in a day, right? So you're going to see that happening and how many they can produce. So again, take your tonneau covers off. You can put them on, same price. They are available through Ford Accessories. It is the same cover as you get from the factory, and you can install it yourself in 30 minutes, and it's the same price as it was from the factory, and it can actually get produced and scheduled. So that's what I encourage you to do. We just took one off of an order Saturday, so hopefully we see that one get scheduled. It was, I think, one of our July or August orders for EcoBoost. So anyway, some other things that I wanted to talk about. Coming back to the what would happen if your 22 Maverick carries over to 23. So a lot of people are asking me lately, hey, is there a possibility mine's not going to get scheduled or not get built for 22? So first off, your order will be built the way you wanted it to be built. So if you're saying, I want the luxury package, I want the Copilot 360 package, I'm not taking it off, your order will be built. Now, it may not get built as a 22, and the same way that some of the Bronco customers, the same thing happened to them. So there's too many Bronco orders for 21 that they couldn't get them all completed for 21 and built for 21. So some of those got carried over to 22. And there are some people that reserved the very first night within the first hour and are still waiting 500 days to get their Bronco scheduled for a build date. And it's because they stuck to certain requirements that they wanted, you know, whether it be a Badlands or a Wild Track. They decided, I want the hard top. I want, you know, if it's a four-door with a hard top, I want, you know, the Lux package. I want the 2.7. I want the tow package. And like, even though telling you it's constrained, leaving that tow package on will make it to where it'll just keep getting pushed back. So if that's the case, yes, they will build your vehicle, but it's going to take longer than these others. So it could happen. So some of those orders could get carried over to 23 just because they don't have enough to be able to produce all of those orders as 22s. So what will happen if that happens? So I don't know for sure, but this is what I'm going to tell you could happen just based on experience from the past. So I'm going to use Bronco as an example. What happened with the Bronco for those orders in 21 that did not get produced? So what Ford did is all the orders that were in there that was not scheduled, those orders were duplicated into the order system as a 22 order. And then because there were some changes, like one of them for the Wild Track, that one of the changes they made was they took the hardtop as being standard equipment on the Wild Track, and they made it as an optional equipment, as well as they changed the front bumper, which was being constrained because all the Badlands, all the Wild Tracks took those bumpers. They took that off as being standard equipment, and then they made it an optional equipment. And so they made a couple changes. So then that's what they're going to do is they'd probably duplicate that order, and they did keep prices the same. So they locked those prices knowing that those get pushed to 23, and they locked those prices for those customers. So a lot of customers were concerned that, hey, if mine gets pushed to 23, what's going to happen is they're going to increase my price, and now that goes out, you know, now I'm going to have the price of the price increase. Not normally. Ford, a lot of times what they did for Bronco is they kept the price the same. When they took that cover off, they actually discounted the price down. So if they wanted to add the roof, I should say, or the modular front bumper, it came out to the same price that they originally ordered for when they ordered it in 21. So Ford does a really good job of making that right. Just like when they changed the 4K tow package not available in the front wheel drive, what did they do? They came out with a rebate for all those that had to go to all-wheel drive for their orders. They gave them a rebate of the cost to the all-wheel drive. So Ford does a really good job of making that right in a way. Now here's another example, F-150. 21, there's a bunch of orders in there. They shut the plant down for like a month. They weren't able to build 21 F-150s, and so there are a lot of orders in there that are left in there that were not produced. And so what Ford said is, okay, these orders are going to get pushed to a 22 build, but we're going to give you a rebate. So they gave everybody that had an F-150 for 21 that didn't get built, that got pushed to 22, they gave them a $2,000 rebate for their order when it came in. And then they also have put out all of these. If you order a vehicle, you get an extra rebate. So customers were given major rebates on F-150. So a couple different things that Ford could do. And keep in mind, Ford will make it right. They'll do what they need to. And Ford's, a lot of people are kind of bad-mouthing Ford about all these orders. I can't believe they allowed for all these orders to be taken and they can't even fulfill them. You realize how many people decided they wanted to get a Maverick? I mean, they're building them as fast as they can down there, and they do a good job. But you also want a quality truck coming out of there too, so you don't want to go too fast and not have a quality truck coming out either. But they're building these as fast as they can, just like with the Bronco. They had more orders than what they could be able to build in one model year, and they're just going to get carried over and take a little while. Maverick's the same way. It's going to take a while to get up to the demand and the orders that are in there. You're going to have a nice vehicle when you get it. There are a lot of people still on Bronco. Now keep in mind, Bronco reservations came out in the summer of 2020. We're coming on almost spring of 2022 now, and we still have a lot of people that don't have their Broncos and still won't have them by summer for almost 2 years. So I don't see that happening for the Maverick, but keep that in mind. Also, I was kind of reminding myself today that the order banks for the 23 the order guides, I should say, are going to come out in August of 23, but the first orders aren't going to be able to be submitted till September for scheduling in October, for October build dates, I should say, or September scheduling for October build dates. So that means they're going to keep building 22s probably into August more than likely before they need to switch over for a new model year. So, that's still, keep in mind, every month they could do about 6,000. They could produce about 6,000 Mavericks. So, this month, hopefully 6,000 next month. So you're talking what? February, March, April, May, June, July, possibly August, 7 months times 6,000. You're still 42,000 Mavericks that can hopefully be built before the end of this model year. So keep that in mind. Also, first editions, they will get built for 22. So what they did on Bronco at one point, they were trying to produce some of these. At one point, they're like, okay, they even told dealers, we're not going to schedule any more vehicles other than first editions. We're going to get all the first editions done, scheduled, and built because they had to be built as a 21 last year. Same thing will happen for your first editions for this year. They will get built as 22s. They can't carry those over to 23, so they will get built. So what will probably happen at one point is they'll stop scheduling Lariat luxury package vehicles and schedule the first editions, which come with the Lariat luxury package. So that's probably what will happen for all those first edition orders. And there'll be, I think I remember in Bronco where it was 1 month, all of our like 10 first editions got scheduled for us on Bronco, which was pretty much all of our first editions. So at some point they'll probably do the same thing with the Maverick and just schedule a bunch of first editions and get them all built. So that I can see happening real soon as well to make sure those first editions get done. So that's how that'll work. So, all right. So kind of rambled on there and went through that. So let me move up here and see some comments. So, oh no, Adrian. Oh yeah, yours. We're waiting for Adrian to get here. His is in Kansas City, and he's been waiting. And I believe when you ordered a Maverick, we didn't take a deposit. So we didn't take deposits on any Mavericks. So there shouldn't be a deposit for you to get back. But I'm glad you found a good vehicle. Escape, Hybrid, Titanium, those are good vehicles. And that'll get you a good fuel economy as well. So I think you'll enjoy that Escape Hybrid as well. So sorry it took so long to get your Maverick, and I totally understand. When you're wanting to get a good fuel economy vehicle, you just need to get something, right? So, but I appreciate you being as patient as you could, waiting for it. But since I'm buying Ford vehicles, please include me in the insider circle for how to buy specialty vehicles. You know what I'm talking about. Yep. Alrighty. What does it mean when the dealer says he put this in as a hot order? Okay, so when a vehicle gets produced and it gets shipped and it gets close, like for us, the Kansas City is a distributing center, and we know there's a vehicle we know it hit Kansas City. What we can do is we can call our Ford rep and say, hey, can you mark that one as hot? And so then they try to get on a truck that may be passing by the dealership. Because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll have a truck and they'll try to get a bunch of vehicles for that dealership on one load. So usually when they drop off at our dealership, they drop off 4 to 6 at a time, not just one. And so what they might try to do is mark one as hot, and they'll put it on somebody else's truck that's close to the dealership or something like that. And they'll go ahead and drop that one off to you that they marked as hot. So so the dealer can do that. We don't do that very often, but it can. You can call the dealer can call the Ford rep and mark one as hot. How many first editions do you have for Maverick? I'd have to look them up because that's it's hard because I have to look up all the lariats and then look up and see what packages. I got to click on each one of the orders individually. At some point I'll probably, try to do that just to kind of get a curiosity of how many, I can't look up past orders. I can only look up ones that haven't been scheduled in our system. So I can tell you how many first editions aren't scheduled yet. So maybe I'll get a chance to look that up if I can this week. I will be traveling, by the way. We're not doing, I don't know if you noticed, I didn't mention a Facebook Live this week. So we won't be doing a Facebook Live. I'll be traveling, actually traveling to Maine. I'm going to go see the moderator. Now, I am taking a little trip to Maine just for a day and then coming back. So my daughter's going to see some friends there. And so I'm going to, first time flying for her. So I'm going to fly with her so she can get, understand how everything works. And then spend a day with our moderator there. Ridgeview, and then I'm gonna fly back, so it'll be a fun little trip. So hopefully gotta hit 3 airports on the way, but we'll get there. But anyway, so because of that, Thursday I will not be doing a Facebook Live. And for those of you that are concerned about that, some of you aren't on Facebook, and I get that. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook myself, but really what we're doing over there on Facebook is a Q&A more than anything. So any news that I might come up with or think about on there, I'll bring back and talk about on the Tuesday night live stream as well. In fact, I brought up some things tonight that I actually carried over from some things in the discussion that came up Thursday night. So you're not going to miss out on anything if you aren't able to do the Facebook Lives. I'm going to cover anything that might have come up. And if there's some good discussion that came up, then I'll make sure I mention it in the Tuesday night live streams as well. So you're not going to miss any bit of information there. All right. Tim, anything Raptor? I'm trying to spend more money with Long McArthur. Yeah, those Raptors, they're going for crazy money right now. I don't know. We have a few, I think, on order coming in, I think, pretty soon. And we can order them right now. So I believe we can order 22s right now. We've been getting some of those ordered. Raptor R, I have not heard about yet, or the 37, Raptor 37 or whatever that is. We have not been doing too much, and I haven't been doing a lot of research on the Raptor. I need to familiarize myself with that. I don't spend a lot of time on those because those are always usually just custom orders. They're ordered in and they go right out, so I usually never have an opportunity to go over and do a video on those, but I need to probably do that. Order September 15th, Mav Hybrid Lariat First Edition, Copilot 360. Birthday is in June, or am I more likely to take it to my county fair in late August? If we get some chips, maybe June. So we'll see. And of course, it needs to be scheduled, right? So we got to get it scheduled. And it's a hybrid. So I'd probably aim for August. So not for sure. I mean, it's hard for me to speculate at this point. So So, all right. I ordered Maverick Lariat Hybrid with Lux on August 24th with 360 only. Do you know when possibly I get built? My dealer told me I might get. Really the thing it is, it's really hard for us to speculate on any of them because like the 20 June orders, I would have said they got scheduled, should have gotten scheduled 2 months ago, and I was wrong on some of those. So it's really hard for us to speculate on when vehicles are going to get scheduled. I know everybody wants to know that. I wish Ford would like, hey, you ordered now, boom, here's your date, and when you first order, that would be really nice. But because of production, they can produce a lot more vehicles, and they have a system that works for them, and they're able to produce a lot of vehicles a lot sooner. You look at some people that they've actually badmouthed said, well, look at Tesla's model. They give you and you order. They do them in order. They also produce less vehicles a year as well. So, and I know they are electric, but keep that in mind. Ford's going to probably be producing more electric F-150 hybrids than Tesla will be building because of the way they have their production line and the way they do things. They have some great experience on that, and that's why they're able to kick out more vehicles than about anybody else. So, put longer question. How can you extend your lease while you wait for your Maverick? Okay, you can just contact Ford Credit. So I actually had to do that on my Expedition because my Expedition isn't going to be here. It's actually scheduled to be produced on the 19th of February, as long as it doesn't get delayed for chips. Could happen to me as well, just like some of you guys. I'm going to extend my lease as well. So you can just contact Ford Credit to do that. So if you have your lease, I assume with Ford Credit or what other lease company you have, if it's a different model, a different brand, reach out to the creditor and they can extend your lease out. So I'm considering, I'm going to need to do that on our Expedition, probably at least 1 month, if not 2, because ours probably will not be here until the end of March. So I'm probably going to need to extend it out at least 1 more month. So I will need to just contact them as well. So that's how that's done. Okay, question, is there any talk about an all-wheel drive hybrid Maverick in the works? I know a lot of people want it. Ford doesn't really tell the dealers much until the order guides come out. So sometimes they're going to publicize it publicly in media before they'll let the dealers know. So be looking at your media sources for any information on that. I don't see them talking about any of that probably till summer. So Tim, will you talk about chip shortage? Well, I don't know. It looks like maybe they're going to be getting some soon, but I don't know. I think I heard that the source that they have in China or whatever is the reason they're short. I think they had some COVID hit the plant there or something, and so they weren't able to produce chips for a while. I don't know. So I don't really know a lot about it, and I don't know. I have seen one of the good things is I've been seeing people's dates that were in like March 28th get moved up into like March 14th. And that's a good sign, because I think the reason a lot of those got moved back was because I knew they wouldn't have enough chips on some of those things. And it looks like most of the Lariat luxury package vehicles are the ones that got moved back to the 28th. Some of those orders are being moved up. Which is, I think, a good sign. It means something's happening and something's going on. So hopefully we see more of those orders get moved back up into position there. And when we start seeing those delivery dates come back down from May into April, hopefully that happens. We should hopefully see that. So as people hopefully get some news on that, we can find out a little more information. So it doesn't sound right that at the end of January, the dealer was able to add first edition to my November hybrid Lariat luxury. No, they weren't. You can't do that. They actually closed out the first edition about a month before maybe before. I think it was October. October sometime, they closed out first edition altogether on vehicles, whether it be hybrid or not. So they actually closed out first edition availability before they closed the hybrid. So it was like first edition was first, they closed it out, and then hybrid, and then it was EcoBoost. So, and then, all-wheel drive actually before EcoBoost. So we've had a lot of closeouts for the different things, but the dealership is not able to add first edition to any orders right now. You cannot do that. When you say orders got moved up, do you mean for production or for delivery? For production, sorry. Yeah, there were some vehicles that had scheduled build dates for like March 28th, and then they said theirs moved to like March 14th. So that's what I was talking about. Thanks for asking that. I'd love to see some more accessory videos. I loved the last video you made. So yeah, we're going to try to do more of those. And I'm probably going to make a trip sometime maybe next week over to so you guys can see how they do a spray and bed liner here at McArthur and what we do here and such. I thought that'd be kind of fun. So we'll do one of those videos as well. So it was a lot of fun. And we don't do a lot of installs here ourselves, but maybe even showing you how they install. We have our guy back there that installs the different lift kits and stuff. Maybe you could see how that gets installed. So that was a lot. That was fun to do that video. I ordered on January 26th, EcoBoost, 26th, EcoBoost, Lariat Luxury, FX4, 4K tow, full size spare. Will I get pushed to 23 model year? Hard to tell. You're ordered on one of the last dates of the year. So if you leave that Lariat Luxury package on there, there is a possibility that might happen. But being that it's an EcoBoost might help you out versus being a hybrid. I'd at this point, I'd probably rather have an EcoBoost order and that I ordered in January than a hybrid that I ordered in November, just for the fact that they're looking at our numbers. Look at how many we have, 237 that are still unscheduled hybrids alone. So, when you look at that versus we only have 75 EcoBoost, and like this month we're going to have 20, we're going to have 2/3 of our orders be, hybrids versus EcoBoost. We might get, and we do have, I guess pretty similar numbers there. They might start, trickling down together. So hopefully we start seeing a lot more of those scheduled. Your Big Ben Bronco walk around was excellent. Thank you. You can find that on my personal channel if you want to. I did have a link down in the description for that as well. Place my order on 10/1. Any guess to the production date? Not really. So that's probably one of the most asked questions. Like if you look at my, I said I'm behind on getting back to emails on my Ford Video Guy. I have over 60 emails in here, and a lot of them are, I'd say probably half of them are asking, when is mine going to get, when do you think mine will get scheduled? And I should just copy and paste to those because I really have no clue. I would just be guessing, and I would be no different than any dealership out there because, one dealership can say it's going to be 6 to 8 months, and they could be right, and one could see, 3 to 4, and just who knows. It's going to be really hard to be able to tell that. Can you find out from the brand manager if they are expediting chips rather than on a cargo ship? I would assume they're getting those shipped, like coming over. I don't know how they do that, and I'm not sure if I could ask him and see if he can give me information on that. But what I do know is that they said that they are going to try to do those. I did notice, like Bronco, for instance, is another one that's having issues with chip shortage as well. So there was a video on the Bronco 6G that mentioned, that showed a lot full of Broncos waiting for chips to be shipped out. And so they had all these Broncos that were sitting there waiting for those. And then they actually had some of them that were running with the hoods up, like they were, installing chips and such into those. So hopefully that's why they're going to do it for the Mavericks as well. One of the benefit of the Maverick is that's a warm climate right now. It's not sitting under a pile of snow like the Broncos are. So that's could be a benefit to you guys out there. So they're like, a lot of people are like, I don't want mine outside, but the paint that they put on these anymore is just, it's phenomenal. It's fine. Derek, one of our sales guys, that his Bronco was sitting, was built last July, and it was sitting, and he just got it, and what was it, January, I think. And so 6 months that it was sitting outside in Detroit and in Kansas City in that inclement weather, and he got it, and I said, hey, how's it look? How's the paint look and everything? He said, it looks fine. And just like for me, I don't garage my vehicles. They're outside most of all the time, and that paint holds up real well. So I don't think you got to worry about any damage to your vehicle by it being outside in Mexico. If date was changed to week 21 of February do you think be built that week? I would think so. I mean, I know we're seeing dates move around, but once you start getting at this point, if you're getting scheduled for what did I say, the week of the 14th, that's next week, and so usually those dates are pretty. 21st is in 2 weeks. That could be moved, but that's pretty close. Once you're only a couple weeks away, those are usually pretty solid numbers there. So I wouldn't think they're going to be moved too much. So out of curiosity, let's just look up mine and see if mine got moved. I haven't gotten an email that my expedition got moved, but let's find out. Let's look up my order. Actually, go to vehicle visibility. That'd be a lot easier for me to find it. All right. Kind of looking forward to it. Well, we'll probably have one of the first 22 expeditions in the country. Mine got scheduled the very first week that expeditions were scheduling. 22 expeditions were scheduling. So there's my VIN number. So saying 27 actually moved up. So it went from 219 to 217, which I'm kind of happy about. 219 was a Saturday, so it got moved up to a Thursday. They always say you were better off getting one early in the week, so they're not crunching. So mine actually got moved up to scheduled, moved up a day. So good sign. So that's good. I was wondering if it's going to be moved back because of the, the chip shortage and different things like that. But looks like it's good there. All right. Why am I getting an error message of "we're sorry, we are unable to process this order. Please enter a valid Ford order VIN." Went into production 129 using VIN from the window sticker. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. But I have seen that happen. That probably went into production already, so it should be out. So the best thing to do is contact and Bob, I don't know if you have your order in with us or not, but if it is with us, contact your salesperson so that I can look it up in vehicle visibility. That's the easiest way. Sometimes those trackers don't always update and such and have some issues with those, but our vehicle visibility is the most accurate, so we can try to look that up. So all right, Reggie, we're going to, what was it? Domino's? I can't say that. I'm bad with that. Floating restaurant on the Portland waterfront. Oh, good. I love to do that. I love seafood, by the way. So I'm gonna be finding a place, in Maine. I'm gonna eat seafood for lunch and dinner. I love seafood. Oh, the tracking is down. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Steven, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to say this out loud because I don't want everybody send me the order number. Again, remember, I'm looking up Steven's order because he has his order with us. I can't look up other dealers' orders. I have a dealer code that I can only pull up as our dealer code, and that is it. So just so you guys know, I cannot look up your orders. Clear? I got so many emails because I didn't look at that. So, all right. So now we've used that number. Say, okay. So I'm not sure here. Let's see here. We have a couple with that number because we do sometimes use multiple numbers, and he actually has two Broncos with the same number. Well, that's nice. Why did we do that for? And I don't know. I'd have to look at your VIN number, Steven, and see if that's your order or not. But there is one in here that's scheduled to be built the week of the 21st. That's probably your second order, I'd assume. Yep. So the week of the 21st, it looks like. So that I think that did get moved on you because at one point it was scheduled to the day on the 28th, and now it's got moved back a couple of weeks. And by the way, where they're making the Bronco is one of the plants that did get shut down, so that might be why that order got moved. So I will miss my Ranger when the Maverick comes in. Yep. Eric, kind of curious, what year Ranger do you have? It would be, Cody says, it would be nice if the Mavericks had a 7.2 kilowatt Pro Power onboard like the F-150s. I'd even be happy with that 2.4 or the 2.0, right? Just having, that Pro Power onboard in the back, that'd be really cool. So that's a pretty cool system. I am really kind of stoked because my Lightning will have that. It'll have that 7.2 kilowatt Pro Power on board in the back, 2.4 in the front. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna call it front all day long, too. All right. Any questions I missed here? Make sure I get them. All right. Oh, so Ethan, I missed yours. Should I call on McArthur tomorrow about the VIN not showing valid now? McArthur's my yeah. Get a hold of we can look that up there, Ethan. Definitely. So it won't take me long. I will be here tomorrow. I'll be leaving Thursday. But I will be around tomorrow. So your salesperson can get with me with that order number, and we can look that up and see. It wasn't built, but got pushed to the end of May, sitting, waiting on chip. Yep. Yeah, Steven, yours is, I think, one of the ones sitting in there that they showed a video on, probably, of sitting there under the snow. But I will tell you, we've had snow here, and the tops do a great job. In fact, I was really happy. I'll tell you guys a story. I went and because we had snow, and on the side of my Bronco had, all the salt and stuff on it. I'm like, I'm gonna go wash my Bronco, and since I have a cloth top, I decided I'm just gonna and I have graphics on the side of mine. I do have one of the Roush packages that I'm just gonna wash it by hand. So I took it in there. It didn't really cost me that much, and I did a fabulous job and everything, but no leaks whatsoever on my cloth top. I am really happy about my cloth top. I don't even know if I'm going to get a hard top. I'm just so happy with that top. I mean, it's so convenient and no leaking whatsoever. Hose it down pretty good, the top and everything, and all the way down. Very happy. My Maverick went from production date of 3.7 to 2.21, now to 2.14. So it's moving up. But fearful since tracker says VIN doesn't exist. You do see that, like when your order gets really close, like when it's a little ways out, when you're scheduled like a month out, you can have that VIN and it actually shows it, in production or whatever. And then when you get about a week away, and you're scheduled for the week of, and it's like this case, you're in the week of the 14th, which is next week. Here real soon. Watch at the end of this week. You probably should get an email, or you'll be able to go into that tracker and see that information again. So that happened with my Bronco as well, where I put the VIN number in, I got nothing, and I was like, what's going on? And then I think it was the Thursday or Friday before, they sent me an email. Went in, there it was. It was in there. So that's probably why. So if you're getting real close to your production date, that's probably why it's doing that. It should come back here in a couple days when it gets scheduled to the day. So idea on how long a Bronco Sport Badlands would take, premium package plus co-pilot. Well, Jack, earlier we kind of talked about that they said it's going to take longer for a Badlands with the premium package to get scheduled. And I looked this up the other day for somebody else. The only thing that's really constraining on the Bronco Sport is that Copilot 360 Assist Plus package. So that is holding those builds up. Plus, they mentioned the premium package, because I think that premium package might include that Copilot 360 Assist Plus package. So that might be why. And the only thing else on there that they're saying could constrain a Bronco Sport is the if you have a Big Bend, but you have a Badlands. So that would be about it. So yeah, so that premium package and the Copilot 360, I think, is included in the premium package, if I remember right. That's what's holding it up. So really have no idea, since they said it just may take longer. They didn't have any kind of other constraints. For a customer who hasn't ordered yet and 22 orders closed, are we SOL until 2023, open later this summer? Yes, unless you can find one at a dealer that's not taken by a customer. Should we reach out for canceled orders, customers who take an EcoBoost over a hybrid? Yeah, so that would be the other thing to do, is to reach out to your dealer. Like we just had one earlier in the stream. I'm sorry to hear that, but that went ahead and purchased another vehicle. Well, when his comes in, that's going to be available, because his was sitting in Kansas City. So that will probably become available. So you want to kind of try to contact your local dealers and see if you can get a special deal. Now, for ours right now, unless something changes, again, if you are watching our live stream, you see one on ours. I do have some information on some customers. I have a list of customers that are looking to get a vehicle that were in that type of situation, and so I do have a list going. So if you want to get on that list, make sure you contact me. So I definitely will do that and make sure, we can reach out to you if something comes in that's close to what you're looking for. Most of the people that they're looking for something are looking for hybrids on my list because that closed out earlier than the EcoBoost did. But that'd probably be the best case scenario if you want to try to find one of those. So will Maverick orders of 22 transfer to 23 get built first before the actual orders? Yeah, they're going to still be looking at that timeline. And whether people believe it or not, Ford is trying to go by your timeline. I know some people are like, well, I have June orders. Why are they not getting scheduled, but October orders are? Again, it's because it's not a hybrid. It's an EcoBoost. So they're going to, if they can build, let's say they can build just a generality, 100 vehicles in that plant that day, and they can say, we're going to do half of a hybrid, half EcoBoost, right? They're looking for that. So they can only then schedule 50 hybrids. But if 70% of the orders out there are hybrids, it's going to take longer to get through the hybrids than it will be the EcoBoost. That's why the EcoBoost in October are probably getting scheduled, whereas those ones in June still are not, because like you looked at ours, 43% of our hybrid orders were ordered in the month of July. And if you look at June, July, August, that accounted for 40, 50, 60, 70% of our orders came in those first 3 months, and that's why it's taken so long to get through those months. So there you go. Here's the VIN. Oh, yep, that's the one I looked for. It did get pushed back to March. What was that date? I had it pulled up. Let me pull it back up, Stephen, here. Yeah, week of the 21st. So let's see if it gets moved. Maybe it'll get moved up. Maybe they'll get some chips in, and they'll move that sucker up. We'll hope, right? All right, and then I think I got some. Yep. Okay, so Nathan, I'll make sure I answer your question here. Thanks for the donation there. I have an Explorer XLT that was scheduled for production in Chicago week of 128. Tracking now shows estimated delivery 5/31. Any idea why? It's the chip. It's waiting for chips as well. So it affects a lot of models, just not Maverick. Bronco's being affected, and so is Explorer as well. That is another vehicle that's has a chip shortage. So the reason that got moved back to the 31st, just like a lot of the Mavericks and Broncos, is because it's waiting on chips. And so that's why they've put that estimated delivery out there a little ways. But good question there. All right, Tim, one more. XLT Maverick build. All right, let me look it up real quick. Okay, see, even on ours, Stephen, that is showing that did not understand the order number. Oh, wait. I was going by order number. Let me go back. Sorry, I didn't do VIN. Okay. All right, and it's not giving me, so that it's having an issue with that one too. So maybe I might need to have that order number instead, because that actually isn't that's not the correct VIN. I think that H is W8E. Let me try that again. There we go. So that one, that order has been sent to the plant, and so it should be getting produced real soon. So there you go. So if I go to the details. Anyway, yep. So it should be getting soon, real soon here. Invoice is already created. So production week, February 7th. So there you go. Yeah, Steven, there you go. Should be getting produced this week probably. There you go. All right. So, Philip gave me a donation too, $15. Thank you. Thank you, Tim, for doing a great job keeping people informed about their status. I enjoy it. Sadly, dealers lack in this area. It's good you're doing this for people, even though you're not ordering from your dealership. Yep. Yeah, I like to help out everybody, so if I can. So, yep. All right. So, what other questions? And thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Didn't have to do that. No, the XLT Maverick. Okay, XLT Maverick. Yep, I got that one. So, sorry, I was a little behind there. Sorry about that. So, All right, Crazy World. Check that one out. Boom, boom. There we go. Order number. And looking that one up. Oh, we got a, okay. I assume it's the Maverick. So that one has a scheduled to date for 2/17. Same day as my Expedition. So there you go. So it looks like it's supposed to be built 2/17. I gotta figure out where I'm at here. Here we go. There we go. Lost my there we go. So Tim, thanks. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Have you seen smoke quartz on the F-150? Any thoughts on the color? I have not. I'd love to see it in person because that is the color I chose for my Lightning. It's a new color for 22. So I'd like to see, hopefully we can get one coming in soon and so I can see it in person. So I need to decide whether or not I can switch my color because I can switch my color when it comes to that. So hopefully we get one in that smoke quartz real soon because that's a cool color. So oh, Gary sent me a question there. Okay, well, thanks for the donation on that one too. So, all right, Gary, thanks for all the insight you give everyone. I ordered an XLT hybrid with a Lux N360 on 825. Do you think it'll still make the cut for? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you will. I mean, most of the, like I said, most of the orders, if you ordered in August, September, I don't see why you wouldn't get scheduled. Even probably, most of October. Well, they cut it off to where they know they can produce all the ones that are in there. They may not be able to produce them all the way they're scheduled. So, because of the amount of people that chose the luxury package in the Copilot 360, they didn't plan on that many people selecting those packages. And because of that reason, they're not able to produce all of them in that order. So, all right, Todd. Oh, great to see you in here, Todd. Let me check that one out here real quick. See where yours is at. All right, yours is scheduled for the week of the 14th. So week of the 14th of March. Sorry, March 14th is when yours is scheduled for. So I don't know if that moved on you or not, but there's where you're at now. So hopefully, maybe you can get moved up even more. So, or a P question from above. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, I skipped down because someone did a donation. I want to make sure I get those answered. So, all right, I must have missed. There's an RVP question, and I think I might have missed it. So, thanks for tagging that so I can be looking for it. So, trying to scroll through the comments. You guys are just very talkative in here. I love this community and talking to each other. So probably I think somebody had an ROVP question, but I can tell you what the most common questions I always usually get is whether or not 115 but ROVP not until 2/2. Your date's still going to be from that January date. So when the Ford's looking at it, when the factories are looking at it, what'll happen is they're looking at it based on that order date, not when it was the ROVP was approved. So, but they're not going to be able to see that order until the ROVP is approved, if that makes sense. So you might have an order like in this case at 110, right? And let's say, it didn't get, okayed or RVP approved until February. So the whole month of January, it's not going to be looked at by the factory. But then once it gets approved, then it's going to show up, but it's going to use that original order date. Hopefully that helps. Do Ford dealers have any short-term lease or finance on their used inventory while we wait on our Maverick? Not really. It's pretty much you can purchase it. Now, one of the things that you're going to find right now is that the way the market is you can grab a vehicle and almost drive it for a little bit and then, and then trade it back in and probably get most of your money, almost all your money back. So, but that's kind of one of those things. It's kind of a gamble, but anyway, so that could be possible. I actually thought about doing that with my Expedition instead of extending my lease, of just going ahead and swapping and doing and buying out the lease, because I'm going to use it as a trade. Buy out the lease, start a loan on it, and then when my Expedition comes in, just use it as a trade in with that payoff and go that route. So I was thinking about doing that. So why move build dates if they're supposed to have all the parts when they schedule them? Well, they're scheduling so far in advance that they're kind of guessing. I think. I don't know for sure. I'm not in that part of it. I'd love to actually tour one of these plants and not just see them put the vehicles together, but actually see, work with one of the foremans or whatever to see how they schedule those and how they predict, allocations and being able to build those and such. But I think the assumption is that they're getting these parts in this type of scheduling, and then when that gets dropped off, then they have to move them back, and then all of a sudden, if that then comes in a couple days later, they can move that order back. I assume that's what's happening, but I don't know. So any updates on F-150 Lightning allocations? We got two. Well, here our Ford rep told us last week or a couple weeks ago now that we were supposed to get 2 allocations for 22 model year, and that was all we're supposed to get. And we're like, well, but we've already gotten 3 invites, so that didn't make sense. But I did notice one of the things that I noticed was 2 of our invites came in the month of February. The other one was January for wave 1. So I think my assumption is that she misunderstood, and the allocations that we had that we were given this month was for February only. And so because I noticed that there were 2 waves that were scheduled for January, and we have 2 waves that are scheduling for February, because wave 3 just got scheduled, and then wave 4 will happen in a week from Thursday will be the next wave, and then you'll have 2 more wave invites. We'll set wave 5 and 6 will be going out in March. So my assumption is that we'll have more allocations in March as well. So hopefully we get a bigger number than the 2 that we had for this month. And then we get more of these scheduled for our customers. But we do know they kind of prepped us. 22 is going to be a short run. 23 will be a full year run, and it's going to be scheduled in the summer. So that they're just kind of letting people know that, hey, even though this is going to be a short one, it's going to be very few that are going to be built for 22. 23 is really the big start and a big push. So I really almost wish instead they would almost wait until 23 then, and just make it a full production run at the beginning instead of doing a small run in 22 and get everybody's hopes up that reserved that first night, because there were so many. I mean, I think the numbers are like 17,000 that they're planning to produce for 22. I think that's some of the number that I heard go out early, and then that's a small number. And that first night there were probably good 40,000 people in the first 2 hours that reserved a F-150 Lightning. I mean, we have 30 customers in our system. Our top 30 reservations in our system reserved in the first 2 hours before midnight. That's crazy. And we are getting a lot of people that transferred in and pushing some people around and down and such, which can happen by that date time. But that's just crazy. So yeah, there are people that reserved. I actually thought if you reserve the first night, you're probably good. You're going to get a 22, but now, unless you reserved in the first 30 minutes, and some of those people aren't going to see them, and it's just crazy. So, but very popular. People can't wait to get them. So, all right. I think I missed a comment. How long does it take for an order to move from pending to approved? Early on when there wasn't a big rush, it wasn't taking too long, usually about 3 days. But we've seen there are some that we actually put in that are still pending approval. But the good thing is that the order's in and you can make amendments. You just want to check with your dealer, because sometimes what will happen is tomorrow I need to look through our orders and just make sure that all of them are approved, and then they're not holding up something, because sometimes they'll get an email back that says this is on hold because the driver's license doesn't match up with the date or something like that, and you have to just call and say, well, that's because they moved or whatever. I mean, and so you just need to send more verification to them. So, it's one of those things. But if your dealers, that person that gets that email back from Ford is not getting with the sales team to make sure that they get what they need back, then it's going to stay in that pending position until they get what they need. All right, so maybe make sure you get with your dealership. And Eric, yours might be with us. I have a couple that I need to look up for some customers, but I'll look those up tomorrow and see it and make sure all of ours are approved and such. But they should be able to pull that and look that up pretty easily. So I take off my Copilot 360 on the EcoBoost XLT. Okay, I hate to say yes, because let's say you don't and you could have gotten scheduled that next week. So it's really hard to tell. I think, when did you say your order was? Well, you didn't say when you ordered. But again, I say those people that ordered those early, they're going to be the first one to get them. But if you don't have it on there, yours will get scheduled faster. That is possible. And not that everybody will. Now, here's another situation. We had this happen. I don't know if I told you the story last week or not, but we had a customer on a Super Duty, and that Ford says, okay, if you have somebody with a black appearance package on your Super Duty, it's going to take longer for your order to get scheduled. We encourage you to have people take those off your orders so those can get scheduled sooner. So we had a customer that said, I really want that package on there. I really don't want to take it off. I'll wait another month and see what happens see what happens this month. He got scheduled. So there were probably enough people that dropped theirs that allowed for his to be scheduled. Because if Ford says, hey, I can only schedule this many, enough people dropped it to where they could schedule, his. So that can happen. So I hate to tell you to drop it. It's a very good safety. I think it should be standard. I think Copilot 360, that Bliss and Cross Traffic Alert is, I think, a great package. It should be standard equipment, I think, on all of them. And hopefully, I'm hoping next year that they'll make that standard equipment on all of them. I know that my Fusion, I got a Fusion Hybrid SE in 2019, and what was really cool about the hybrids versus the gas motors is that the hybrids got the Copilot 360 that came with the Bliss as standard equipment. So I got lane keeping system, adaptive cruise. It was standard on a hybrid SE, but was not on a gas version, which I thought was kind of crazy, and that was a great deal. So I'm like, yeah, I want that. My son's going to be driving it. Having the Bliss, having the adaptive cruise control, I want that package. I think that should be standard equipment on, at least the Bliss and the lane keeping system, I think should be standard on every vehicle. So I know you can get, here's what's crazy is you can, of course, I guess you can get on an XL F1 Maverick as well, but F-150 XL, it's, you can get it on their package pretty easily. So, well, it's 8:30 already. You guys kept me talking. All right, any other last questions here? I try to, 8:30 is kind of like an alarm, kind of like almost an alarm there that I need to get home, get some dinner, and so I kind of try to cut it off. So because I will post this podcast over to the podcast tonight before I leave. So I want to do that before I get a chance to do that, so that I can head out by 9 o'clock. So yeah. So don't forget, these are offered as a podcast. Don't forget too, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that red subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell. We have some new members, some new subscribers tonight, a lot of new members as well. So I appreciate that. Appreciate all the donations as well. So not really that you need to do that necessarily. This channel really is about helping get information out to people, and so I don't really necessarily need to do that, but does help because that pops up in red and really easy for me to read those comments, but no need for you to do that. If it lets you do a penny, just do that so that I can see your question. But I do appreciate that. Don't forget, if you haven't done that yet, smash that like button. I know I did that while it was on the music earlier today for the video, so make sure you smash that like button. All of you in here, smash it. Smash that like button. No, I really appreciate it. It does help the video get out. feel free to share this video on social media as well. I don't mind at all. I'm not really going to be pushing the live stream much onto Facebook. You know, I do put it on the Maverick Truck Club because a lot of people like that in there, but I am not posting on social media. I did put it on the hybrid forum because I knew we were going to talk about hybrid stuff, but feel free to share this on social media out there. I don't have a problem with that, so get that out there, and do that. So I appreciate all your guys' questions. This wouldn't be a live stream without your guys' questions, so I appreciate all the questions in here, everybody's input as well, and giving me these topics and tagging me on social media and giving me those topics. And I promise I will now have 64 emails in the Ford Video Guy email. I will read those emails while I'm traveling because I'm going to have a couple different layovers on my trip. So I will get these emails answered and get caught up on that. And so then hopefully you can go ahead and give me some of those other topics. So again, always looking for things to talk about for is it true? And you know what? I don't want it to always be a false, like, oh, nope, they're lying to you or anything. Even if it's an is it true that's on the borderline that tells you that, yes, that is true. You know, everything did get pushed back. I love being able to do that and give you that kind of information. So let me know that and getting some different topics out there. So I appreciate you guys giving me content to talk about, things to talk about, and posting those questions in there. This live stream would not be possible without all the people in here on the live stream. So I do appreciate you guys for jumping in here and chatting with me and talking with me tonight, as well as the last 25 nights, 26 episodes now we're on. So I do appreciate that, and we'll keep doing those as long as you guys are wanting to come over here and talk Maverick, talk Ford product at all, any of those things. I am more than willing to do that. So again, thanks for sticking with me tonight, and don't forget, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can get notified. Don't forget to push that like button, and if you want to become a member, the link is down in the description. Feel free to do that, as well as on the video. If you're watching this on a computer or something, hit that join button, learn a little bit more about it as well there. And so I think that's about it. I will be doing this week for the members. I will be doing a lot walk, but it won't be till later. I won't be flying in until about in the afternoon. So I'll probably be doing one a little bit later on Saturday. So just so you know that. And so other than that, thank you again for watching. Appreciate it. And until next week, we'll see you later. And good luck on getting your Mavericks delivered, scheduled, wherever you're at in the process. Hope that goes well for you guys.